Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a live Eagles film room. We started it on Monday where we were going over some tape of Dylan McMahon and was pleasantly surprised at his upside and some fundamentals, as well as acknowledging some weaknesses. And that leaves us with a great place to be in for this stream, because I want to make sure we're doing these in-depth almost break my pop filter there, in-depth breakdowns on every Eagles draft prospect that we have, which means 9 separate streams. So you guys are all chomping at the bit for those. And look, I could go to Quinion Mitchell, I could go into Cooper DeJean, but for now, I think there's some real upside here with Ainias Smith. He was the guy that, when he broke him down first off on this stream, I fell in love with wholeheartedly. I think he had the highest upside floor of any receiver when it comes to fit for the Eagles. So I wanted to now go back, having known that they've now drafted him, to reevaluate that film and see what else we can notice, to take a closer look, because on surface level, we are just looking for specific traits. Now we can kind of dive a little bit deeper into how those traits translate to what we're going to see from him as a Philadelphia Eagle. So if you're just joining us, welcome to the stream. You're all having a lovely, is it Wednesday? A Wednesday evening. Wherever you're watching this from, let me know where you are watching it from, whether it's Philadelphia, whether you're a late bird in England like me, or potentially somewhere completely different. And we'll get into some Ainias Smith tape in just a second. But yeah, I'm excited about this. Like, this is the one pick for me that I was more excited about than most. Like, seeing his name off the board, I think I popped harder for that, weirdly, than I did Cooper DeJean, because it was one of my guys. You know, if you go back on that draft board from the past couple of weeks, that was one of the people that I was very, not obsessed with. But look, there are certain parallels that can be drawn between my love affair for Ainias Smith and the crush that we had on John Hightower. I think they're both very fair to say. It's a late round sleeper, works differently out of the slot. But there are two massive differences between what Smith provides and what John Hightower provided. Doug says, tell me about our brand new shiny receiver, he says, looking like this with his feet twirling back and forth, looking all loved up, and I absolutely love it. A comp for him, I've liked his Golden Tate, says Tom, and I can definitely see shades of that in there, for sure. There are shades of it. The first thing I want to bring up, if I can find it, I almost forgot his name then for a second, is his rascal. Now, I'm not calling him a rascal. I have meant rascal, and for some reason it's not showed up. It is here somewhere. Here we go. I just got to find it. I used it in an article earlier. I'll just get the article up. So the reason I wanted to start with this one specifically mainly is because I went back and looked at the tape earlier and cheated a little bit because I wanted to write an article, and we're kind of doing this like deeper dive into each of the draft prospects. So if we go to, is it not saved? It's literally not saved. That's really, oh, there it is. Okay. Got it. I'm just being a boomer. Don't mind me. So if I share this, there we go. Right. So this is Ainias Smith's rascal, which is your relative athletic score. What it essentially does is take all of your drills and stuff you would do at the combine or your pro day, condense them down into one handy score, and then give you a grade. So obviously the higher the grade, the more freak of the athlete, and we work from there. What I find really interesting here with Ainias Smith is that he doesn't have the build, really, to be a productive NFL receiver at base level. Slightly undersized at 5'9". Ideally, for a slot, I'd say 5'10", 5'11". An inch makes all the difference, gents, as we know. Weight, 190. I'd say a little bit on the heavier side if you're going to be a slot receiver. That's just me being picky, though. But what I find stunning is that the bench. Now, for all the Jalen Hurts lovers out there, we know one of the massive draws of having Jalen on the team is that lower body power. It's what makes the brotherly shove possible. It's what makes him so effective as a runner and gives him so much torque on those deeper throws. So you've got someone here as a receiver that 21 reps on the bench, which is outstanding. So a lot of power there that he can use. Translate that over to the the athletic side of it. Moderate 40-yard dash time. Nothing terrible, nothing great, just sort of middling. Same with the 20 and the 10-yard splits, obviously from the same drill. But the composite agility grade, an 8.43 grade in the 3-cone is what stands out. So you take those two green bits together, you've got someone that is incredibly agile, seemingly, and also packs a lot of power and physicality. So it's a bit of a different dynamic from what we're used to seeing the Eagles target at these slot receiver positions. Because if you go back to Quez, if you go back to Olamide Zaccheaus, if you even go back to John Hightower, anyone since Jordan Matthews really has been based on pure speed, nothing else. It's speed, it's agility, freak athlete, get the job done. And that's sort of all they need to do. So there's very much a focus on, just being an outrageous runner who can create separation very easily. What we see with Ainias Smith is someone that has the agility, isn't the longest strider, doesn't get separation as much as other people down the field, but is very physical. Now, when researching a little bit earlier, digging a bit deeper, you learn that he only had, I think he had the third least drops of any draft eligible college receiver, which is outstanding. Like if you look at one of the weaknesses we saw from Quez Watkins, it was tracking the ball, catching the ball, looking for the ball, being on the football field, like just basic stuff there for Quez Watkins as to why he didn't pan out the way many hoped. And it's sort of something that you don't get with Ainias Smith. And my theory was that, all right, well, moves quite well off the line and is a bit more like compactful power-wise. He's a bit shorter with a lot of power. So low center of gravity, can hold his own, absorb contact and bring in balls. And that's largely what we saw on tape. So as much as he is not the most explosive athlete in the world, he's a player that, again, strong core strength, very agile, which in an offense where you've got the likes of A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, that, for me, matters far more because you don't need that game-breaking speed because you've got it from a guy like Smithy. You don't need the outrageous physicality because you've got it in Brown and Goedert. And the speed and the ability to stretch the field, you've got in Saquon and the running backs. You just need someone really that can find soft spots in a defense, nip his way past some blocks, get off the line relatively easily, and have the wherewithal and the core strength to bring in those balls. So for me, this is why I was so high on him in the first place. And we're going to get into the tape in just a sec. Jim Burt's, nice to see you in the chat, Jim. Thank you for hopping on by tonight. Says Darren Sproles. Now, I don't mind that as a comparison. I think that's actually a pretty valid one. So we're going to head on over to look at some tape. Probably the same tape you've already seen, but just look at it through a slightly different lens because I think it might just give us a little bit of a different perspective on him. Unfortunately, we've only got... why has all the tape been taken down? For some reason, all we've got is highlights. I don't want highlights. I want actual tape, which is very annoying. I'm going to put Ainias Smith V. Here we go. All right, we've got him V orbit.
11 times.
Okay, right. So are we just double checking before we start? We can all see the screen. Yes, we can. Right. That's the main thing for me. Cheerio. How you doing, Eric? Nice to see you, sir. I hope you're having a lovely day. Mark's in the chat as well. Nice to see you as well, man. Number 4. Prospect number 4, my favorite one by a mile of this draft class. So obviously, played for Texas A&M, lining up in the slot. Not a ton of coverage there. Obviously, he's not playing press or anything, but does he? I can't remember if he gets the ball on this or not. But it's just a fluidity, bit of a willingness there as a blocker, which I kind of like. But it's just that little fluid move upfield. Again, you're not looking for miracles here, but just the way his hips sort of naturally sway. He generates momentum through. If you compare it to some of the other receivers, like if you watch number 9, for instance, on this same play, who's down the bottom of the screen, I know it's obviously a different route, but the break-in is a bit more sudden. There's a little bit more fluidity with the way that Smith is able to just turn. Do you know what I mean? So, again, one play, can't take a lot away from it, but we're just trying to dissect little by little where we're at. Made a catch in traffic. And this is what I mean with that power. Like how many people it's taken to bring him down. We'll watch this play a couple more times. Just kind of freeze frame it a few. So he's got to already get past some linebacker traffic. Takes a chip block. Something comes off his helmet, but he's able to stay up, make the catch, immediately turn upfield, head down. Then look at that, lowering the pads into a linebacker tackle, which isn't for everyone. Certainly not for receivers. That's 3 people, 4 with a fallen tackle. It takes 4 people to bring him down. This is a 5'9" receiver. Okay, 5'9". That's a big deal. It matters a lot. And just before we get onto some of the other snaps in this, obviously we'll watch this and hopefully a couple others. If you could leave a like on the stream, that would be absolutely amazing. Again, it is the best way to help us grow the channel. If you're enjoying it. Now, I don't know what number he plays with. He plays at number 0. That's annoying. I would say then, in honor of that, let's get 10 likes. We'll pretend there's a 1 in front of it. See if we can get 10 likes on this stream tonight. That'd be absolutely amazing. So if you haven't liked already, just turn that grey thumb blue. Same color as my hoodie. And again, it just helps us out massively every stream. It's the best thing you could do to support these. So here we are. So here's the third play. Little stutter step. Nothing. It was a run play, so there's nothing too much to learn from that one. Or there, which is a bit annoying. You get those, unfortunately, when watching tape like this. See, that was a little one there. You kind of really found that second gear. You kind of hesitated. You can't see it very much, but there's a little pause where just as he approaches the linebacker, just puts his head down and is able to accelerate past. So had that been a deeper play, good chance he'd have been open there. Oh, I think my neighbours are kicking off again. Maybe. Not sure. I might have to try and keep my noise down. Apologies. They're really kicking off. They're not happy at this point, my neighbours. These streams are in jeopardy because they are not happy in the slightest. Either that or they're just building furniture at midnight. I don't know which one it is. But I will try my best to be quiet. Sorry for that. I didn't think I was being that loud. But... oh, they're doing something. Okay, they're banging around. Anyway, we move on. Was that a catch for him there? I can't. No, it wasn't. It was a run. Okay. I might have to start doing these streams earlier because I don't really want to keep that. I've got to remember it is 11 p.m. here, so they might be a bit more, sleepy and annoyed that I'm keeping them up. So I promise I'm not trying to whisper on purpose. Man, please. You don't sound like maybe they're doing stuff. Well, it doesn't help. I'm going to shut my door, see if that helps. Because maybe that's making sound travel a little bit. I don't know. Maybe it makes a difference. Who's to say? Yeah, it's really annoying. I don't think I'm being that loud, but what can we do? Worst comes to worst. I mean, I'll have to just do them a bit earlier, but I shouldn't have given up the office, but it was haunted, and it's just one of them. Like, it's just a pain to get to, really. Like, I don't like walking home at 8 in the morning, in the freezing cold and wet. So I'd rather work from home. Picks up a block there. Very nice. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Nice little release on that one. Can we get back to that? Yeah. So you can see just the break. Now, I'm hoping... so here you've got no press across the board. And not that it's like a good barometer, but you can certainly get just a benchmark on that burst in comparison to the other people. So straight away off the line, beating the outside slot, that's a tight end. That's obviously a different route. Don't worry about it. But you can just see him there. Like, yeah. But again, having said that, if you compare the burst to what happens in the next few steps of the route, so he's leading it. If you were to draw a line, probably just about leading it here against the tight end. And all of a sudden, when you get to about here, it's a bit more even. And just as we get off screen, maybe losing a bit of momentum. So that's what I'm saying. The initial first few steps are really good, but that longer speed just isn't quite there. So if you are expecting like a deep burner, this isn't the player for you. It's not the player the Eagles wanted. What they've got is someone that is just, again, going to routinely find soft spots in that defense, contribute well through pass blocking, and just be able to actually catch passes, which is something that, again, Quez Watkins struggled to last year. So I just want to see where he's lined up on this one because I was busy yapping. So starts outside, motions into a bunch set. Again, just in terms of finding that soft spot, really nice break on this route. Up to the linebacker, almost like acts as he's going to cut inwards, like behind number one here. You can see the angle of that. He's almost bending around. And then really good ability to get his shoulders over his knees, head down. And look at that, to burst out on that cut. And the difference that makes from him to the corner, who's also cutting back on this comeback here. And then find that little pocket of space here between two players. Very impressive. Very, very impressive. So Greg Ward, yeah, it's sort of like Greg Ward has a little bit of pizzazz. You know, Greg Ward's like a steak. I would say this is more like a Wagyu steak, you know, like a little bit more seasoned. If you go out for steak, like Greg Ward's a steak you buy at the supermarket, you get home, you treat yourself on a Friday night. This is a steak where you go out with your significant other, sit down and go, that was brilliant. You know what I mean? Like just medium rare. Is he slow? I don't think he's slow, Matt. I think it's more like I said, that the burst is there, but the other things aren't. So it's not long speed, it's more burst. And just for context, again, we'll go back to this really quickly. The agility is really good. The benching's really good. He lacks a little bit of height, and he's got average speed grades. So he's not a deep burner. This isn't John Hightower. This isn't a, blazing slot receiver that's going to change the game. This is much more of just a nuanced route runner with a lot of core strength that can hang in there and catch those tricky to find balls. So yeah, that's what I'm sort of at with this at the minute. We'll get to a few more comments, and then your significant other breaks up with you. Am I right? Unfortunately, so it's going to be one of those streams. Look, with Sirianni and the guys above him valued him his speed that when it mattered. Speed's irrelevant without the other intangibles, says Win. And again, completely agree with that. Like, I would much rather a receiver like this than John Hightower, and that's saying a lot. John Hightower was all speed, no sauce. This is a lot of sauce without much speed. And if you just watch this here, again, running up to a stationary safety, breaks in nice and early. I think that it's one of them. It's really tricky to put a value on this. But if you watch where he breaks, right there, so the foot's in the ground at, what's this, a 21 to 22 yard line? It's really hard when you're accelerating full speed to break while running without gaining more depth. Because realistically, with all that speed, you're going to end up around here, maybe like towards the 25 yard line, which is obviously right in the path of that safety or linebacker, whatever he is, who's going to make a play on the ball. And just look at where he ends up here. A yard underneath. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but then he's still got 3 yards to that player. So it's just understanding that leverage. And because of that, he can make the catch, turn upfield, and again, converts for a first down. So it's just something subtle. Again, just look at foot's in the ground there. Head's going the other way. A really good explosion off that back foot. I could genuinely watch that all day. Just one step in and around, and look how slow that the defender has to react there. Bang. There's your leverage. Like that's your easy, go-to check down route, because all the space in the world. He knows he doesn't need to get. He could have gone deeper. I mean, the safety's dropped back. He could have easily tried to push up here, called a bit of an audible, ran on the fly. But there's that first option, right into the path of the ball, makes a catch. Yeah, it's only something subtle, but just the intricacy on the route running, I think, really counts for a lot there. Absolutely really counts for a lot. We'll get to a few more of your comments. Ron says, I think they're infatuated with having a burner with Quez than the other wide receiver 3 because Sirianni loved him. Yeah, they needed something, needed a rejuvenation, I think, at the slot wide receiver position. And they've tried different things. I mean, you go from a guy like Jordan Matthews, who's very possession-based. They had Nelson Aguilar, who was originally a slot out of college, then ended up going outside. That failed, went back inside. Quez Watkins, John Hightower, Ozzy, was Pascal there as well, am I thinking? Who am I thinking Pascal? Former Colts guy. Is it Pascal? I've forgotten. You know what I mean? Anyway, he was there. And yeah, like this is a bit of a refreshing take on it. It's like they've gone, well, what do we actually need from our slot receiver position? We don't need blazing speed because the safeties are going to be deep enough anyway to try and account for the fact that you've got Smitty and AJ Brown. They're going to have to be watching the run game with Saquon. Dallas Goedert can burn you down the seam. If you send him deep as well, it's almost too much. You need someone that can take advantage of those deeper players when trying to allow leverage to guard someone like Devontae Smith, who can just find the soft spots. And I think that is exactly what he does all throughout this tape. A really good example here again. You look at the shell of the defense. You've got a soft spot there, one there, depending on what these linebackers do. And it's just the intelligence. Again, looking like he's going to break over the middle, then plants his foot to cut back in. Just looking at the player there. As soon as he's noticed there that the player's flipped his hips to run the other way, breaks the opposite way. Send that linebacker over there for absolutely no reason. Get into that soft spot. Would have been an easy pass, but it's just really intelligent. Look at it. He just sent him the other way. And you can make the argument that the player was going out there anyway. There's no one in the flat. You've got 2 players going out there. There's no one in the flat to cover. You've got man coverage there. You've got a deep safety. Like there is no one out here that's a threat. They can see that. They're not dumb. But if you just look at, again, he's just watching the eyes of the quarterback. They've been fooled. Smith has read it and gone, all right, well, see you later. I'll happily sit in here And again, that is all day open space there for Ainias Smith. So really, really good route there. Next play, straight up across the face of the DB. Couldn't quite get it. I mean, that's where his lack of height is going to get him. But just the actual route itself was, again, like really impressive. Like head down to gain traction. That initial few steps are what really separates him. It's just he doesn't quite have that second gear. And I don't think that can be taught. You just kind of have to accept it is what it is. He's a 5th round prospect. He's not like, running around like prime Justin Jefferson out there, And if you look at him here, head down, compare it to the other guys, he's got leverage over him. And as soon as the stride picks up, what he does really well again is like he's got a little bit of Devontae Smith in him where he can look at the angle he's running towards that DB, like straight at him, and then breaks across his face. Like that to me is really impressive. Can't quite bring it down. And again, we're talking like a 5'9" player here that just maybe doesn't have the hands to get up there and bring it down. Still got himself in the air, gave it a go, had the hustle and the effort. But yeah, if he's 6'1", if he's 6'2", maybe he pulls that off. Unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. But again, you're not really looking at him for a red zone target. Something like that, ball was kind of wildly overthrown. I think he had pressure. Yeah. But we'll watch the route just from the Smith perspective. Gets past the rusher. Nice and shallow. He tracked it well. Ball was just thrown maybe a little bit too horizontally for him to grab on that one. But again, you've seen a bit more creative usage for him now. Just something that's annoying. That's probably a concentration drop there. Wide open. I mean, he's adapted well. Okay, so the ball was thrown a little bit to his outside, but could he have done more for it? Probably. Was the QB under pressure? Yeah, all right. So QB was under pressure. We didn't see that the first time. If you look at the time he throws there, you can make the argument. But yeah, so you can see he's trapped back. He's taken a step there and another one and then rebounding out to get it. Yeah, probably 50-50 there. Was definitely a drop on his part, but not the best ball in the world. From a blocking perspective, he's got the dog in him to do it. Don't mind that whatsoever. We don't see him lined up much in press. And although this is a run route, just watch these little jab steps here to fake outside, then back in. It just doesn't have that gear to get past. That's the thing. He doesn't have that next little push, He can't push that. Also in the NFL, that's a PI. Yeah, probably. That's a great point, Win. Smaller target, Hurts will have to be more precise. Yeah, you can make that argument. I think when you look at Jalen's play specifically, Devontae Smith and AJ Brown bail him out a lot. And that's not a discredit to Jalen Hurts, but one of the things that Devontae Smith does better than most is bail out quarterbacks. Like the amount of times Hurts has misfired, it's gone high, it's gone right, and Smith has made a ridiculous catch, make it look like it's absolutely nothing. It's countless. It happens like every game, and it's to a point where it's like a routine Smitty catch is almost outworldly. So you can definitely make that case. It might even benefit Hurts having a smaller target because he has to be more precise with that. There we go, nice little catch there. We saw this before. He was being like punched in the air, wasn't we? Yeah, Auburn being a bit rattled here, down 6-3. But again, look at the players it takes to bring him down. Forget everything else. It's just how many, because he has got so much core power there. Yeah, catches it in. Realise he can't go anywhere. But look at it. He's still only got one hand on the ball. But there, shields it nicely when you've got two players punching him. Again, can't really ask for much more than that. Yeah, if we're talking ball security, you ain't going to find much better. So lining up on the outside, we don't see that very often. Little in-breaking route, and he sort of adapted there for a second as well. Looked like a little come or curl. Leverage-wise, stopped very nicely. Ball goes the other side. Yeah, so he's lining up all over the line of scrimmage here. A little bit slow off the line there, but it was a run play, so it would have just been for a block engagement anyway. Just watch that one again. A minute, the quarterback's taken off. Bear with me. There we go. He's down the bottom now. So again, moving around down there, and a bit of a sloppy route combination. I don't know what that was, but he did audible quite nicely. Like, so you can see him here, sat between the safety and the corner, quarterback scrambling, bang, turn and go, try and get that pass over the top, and then the quarterback runs anyway. So he's got the adaptation there to be instinctive enough to move around and sort of freewheel a bit. A route like that's going to show that speed or lack of it. Again, burst is great. Look how quickly he builds up speed to about here. And then when it comes to running across the face of a corner, just doesn't have that same zip. So the zip is all in that first 3, 4, 5 steps. If you get beaten there, you're toast. If you can hold him, you're probably going to be, in and around his hip pocket for the rest of that route. Nothing going there. Nothing going there. We've got another run play. There we go. Right, okay, let's go back to look at that route if we can. Oh, we can't even see him on the screen. Oh, he must be right at the bottom there. Or am I missing something? Yeah, not a clue. Guessing he's right at the bottom because he makes the catch. But let's just look at the contacts. Yeah, it's there. That's the lack of speed where really, and I hate to say if it's Quez Watkins, this turns upfield a lot quicker, but it sort of would. I mean, that looks like a linebacker coming towards him, and he sort of hesitates. Maybe I'm not sure whether he tried to cut him off and go underneath. Maybe that was it, and he got a bit too cute with it. Yeah, there was a little bit of hesitation there. Some, I don't know. Yeah, like there. Yeah, I think he tries to stunt and let the guy go over the top of him, which is instinctive. It's audacious. I like the thought process, just executed a bit poorly. Quickly, audibles out of it, realizes he's got to go. Still gets to the field goal line. Still gets there, gets out of bounds. It's all you can really ask for him. Could have been a much bigger gain had he just put the gas on. Because look at the leverage he had, man. Like, there's no way. Yeah, that bit, it's a bit annoying. I think he's tried to be a bit too cute with it. But again, did get to the field goal line, which is ultimately what we wanted out of him. If it was Quez that's dropped. Oh, it's comment of the night. We're just going to leave it up there for a while. All right, so starting on the outside here. Muscles his way through contact. That was a really nice little route there. Working across the face of two defenders. Look at this. Shoulder down, sees the chip block come in to break away from it, and then turns and goes, and then breaks across the face again. So the route running, in terms of the breaks and being able to make distinctive cuts, is really good. It's just that longer speed's going to haunt him. But again, in a team where you've got speed all across the offensive side, I don't think it matters when you can do that. I mean, this is another example where, again, that speed hurts him because he can't turn that 0 play into 100. Break does well to break a tackle. And this is what, in terms of the core strength, what we're talking about, physical, doesn't go down easily. He's a tough runner. Plenty of, strength in that body. And he's able to pick up speed again, will himself on, tries to break inside, and just, that one's a bit annoying. I think hopefully we get a better angle here for here we go. Hopefully see what's in front of him or behind him, but we don't. It's one of them. Maybe with the ball in his hands, he could be a bit more effective. It looks like there's been a couple of bad decisions that we might have overlooked, where he's just not able to extend that, that play. Could have been 2 home runs, really, if we're being honest with ourselves. But also one of them where he's done his job. So it's not like he's failed and he's dropped the ball or he's done something terrible. It's like, well, you left meat on the bone. And meat on the bone is good, especially when you're a team drafting someone in the 5th, 6th round of the draft, because you can teach that. So if you can get the decisions right, I'm not really worried about the speed, because as we've established, you can do a lot of the other things that guys with speed sometimes struggle with. Quez Watkins. So if you can, learn to read the game a bit better with the ball in your hands and learn where to make those cuts, when not to make those cuts, when to, put the foot down, when not to, I think that's going to be really effective for him. He has that je ne sais quoi. Now, I don't know what that means because my French is not good. So I'm going to Google it and hope it is not rude. Je ne sais quoi means I don't know what. He has that I don't know what. He doesn't have a second gear, but as long as he has reliable hands. Exactly, yeah. They should bring in a Avant or ask him to mentor. That would be really cool. I also think really, like, on that note, Duck, if you look at the receivers in that room at the minute that he's going to be around, Devontae Smith, in my opinion, I've said this a million times, probably one of, if not the best route runner in the game. You can have all your Justin Jeffersons in the world, but I think the way that Smitty runs his routes with such nuance, and it's so, like, every route's different. He can run every route that there is to, human nature, and he'll find a new way to run it. There'll be a different kind of break. He's able to really leverage DBs with, like, these insane athletic traits and unreal instinct. So you've got a player like that in Devontae. AJ's just said he wants to retire an Eagle. A player that one of the most physical receivers in football that can box out cornerbacks, that can run with the best of them. Just a freak, really, in terms of like what you want in a receiver. He's the perfect X prototype. So two guys that are great vocal leaders, come from strong backgrounds, very close together, and can hopefully wrap their arms around Ainias Smith and say, look, can we now get you something? Like, this is where you're struggling. You're misreading these things. Like, you've got to accelerate here or drop back here, or understanding what to do when players come near you. You don't have that freedom that you do in college to be as creative, I guess, without consequence. If it doesn't work, if that didn't work in college, you try it in the NFL, you're going to end up on your ass with the ball flying 10 yards behind you. So, yeah, I really think that with the group of receivers in Philadelphia, they'll be able to squeeze the best of that juice out of them. Greg Moody says, Ainias Smith, 5'10", 178, doesn't play like it. Quick get off, quick feet, slot screen magnet, finishes plays downfield, hand catcher, doesn't flash in man, willing to sit and take a hit. I'd agree with near enough exactly all of that, to be honest. Who donkeyed that first and 35? Yeah, I'm not sure. Was it the last play? Well, it can't have been that one. Can it? When was the time on the last one? Yeah, all right. So something's happened in between on a 3rd and 5. Maybe it's a field goal for 23. No, I couldn't tell you what's happened there, but it's not pretty. And then they've just gone and done absolutely nothing. And they're 2nd and 40 now, by the way. 2nd and 40, as you do. Outstanding content. Absolutely outstanding. See, there you go. That wasn't bad. That wasn't him, but it wasn't a bad throw. Yeah, so he's working at the top. So you look at engaging the block. Yeah, not much you can do with that one. And that was on 3rd and 38, ladies and gentlemen. We're now back to 1st and 10. At this point, we're not to 20-3. I think, oh my God, did they just give that up? Oh my God, A&M are fumbling back. What has gone on there? We're just watching it. I don't even know the score of this game, but look. Well, it's now 20-10 with 12 minutes to go. They can't sit on that lead all of a sudden that they were just clearly trying to a minute ago. We've just accidentally turned into a what the hell happened to Texas A&M in this game, because this ain't looking pretty. But Smith on the outside here, bottom of your screen. Again, lovely little jump out on that break. In towards double coverage, ready. Just bang. Love that. He just does find those little soft areas to sit in. It's really impressive. Yeah, nothing wrong with that one. Can't complain at all there. See, that was one I kind of wish he got the ball there. The DB was a bit slow to react. I don't know where that throw was going. I mean, maybe just protecting it. I don't know. But quarterback's not having his best day at the office here, I don't think. Used in motion, looked like a little wheel, counted on a comeback. Did all right. Okay, so it wasn't bad. So plenty of positives to take from it. I think we can get one more if we can find one. Miami 2022. Did we do this one last year? Or did we do this game? So this is obviously an extra year old. But I like the little happy football. I like that. Delay a game and 2 neutral zone infractions. Dear, oh dear. Bring in the 3rd and 38 package. A.K.A. the Jim Short special, that one. That is the Jim Short special. QB is mad. The O-line Swiss cheese. But our little man, Ainias Smith, is pure butter. Smooth. Oh, he had 4 catches this game, right? So it's one of them where we can probably look at hello. Can't see what's going on there. Just see a bit more of him running around than anything else, hopefully. Yeah. I don't mind it. Like, quite a game to watch. Geez, what was that called? Right, there is a statue in the pocket, and then there's whatever this is. Bro just didn't move. Look at him, look. Watch, ready? 1, 2. He stood still for 3 seconds. He still found our man Ainias Smith. Again, still took 2 players to tackle him. Can we watch the whole route with him in screen, or is he? No, he's at the top because the screen's cut off. Lovely. Shout to whoever's edited this YouTube video because that absolutely sucks. Sorry, I'm glad you put it here. There we go. Different view on it. Look at that. Hello, look at that for a break. That's what we're talking about. That's some of that Devontae Smith stuff. Look how tall he gets. Look how tall he is here. Foot down, bang. See you later. Just really forces the defender there to open his hips up to him, thinking he's going to push upfield. A few jab steps, so the corner's thinking, right, he's going to turn and go vertically, and just, nah, see you later. Explodes out. Really nice. Again, just that lack of a second gear on it, but just look at that. Bang, bang, bang. Absolute poetry in motion, that. It's lovely. I really like that. Can't be mad at that at all. Got him working outside there. Unfortunately, that was one of his 4 receptions that we've seen this game now. So we are now down to 3. But got separation. That's the only thing I think we're going to find struggling with him is that in the red zone, he's going to be an absolute waste of time. And I don't mean that in a mean way. I just mean that in a way that it's just not beneficial to anyone. What have we got? Josh Allen did that once against the Cowboys for longer. What the hell was the left guard doing? It's all a bit of a mess. What a block, says Josh. Nice to see you in the chat, Josh. Appreciate you hopping in, man. And same with King JJ, lit as hell. Cholesterol free, for my sake. The OL was pros in motion. But yeah, if we just watch this one more time. Well, the second view of it, the first one's a bit... Here we go. Just, he's got all the makings of a lovely cake, but the chef's too short to reach the oven. Look, breaks across the DB. And if that was AJ, if it was Smitty, hell, give it Johnny Wilson. You're throwing that back shoulder. But because he's so short, there is no possible way. You could be as open as day. You could be throwing it to here with him in play. And there's still a chance he's going to get caught because he's just too short. So in the red zone, you probably want to sub him out. Maybe that's where you bring in a guy like Paris Campbell or Devontae Parker for that optionality because he certainly just isn't going to give you the production that you want with inside the 20. The other 80 yards of the field, though, I think he's going to be very good. So, you know, it's a minor concern. But at the end of the day, you can be creative in the red zone. You can use him on sweeps. You can use him on, you know, bubbles and screens and that sort of thing. He's got the physicality to maybe even do brotherly shove type things. Obviously, probably nowhere near as good as Jalen Hurts, but alas, still give them a go. So yeah, it's a player that I like. Like in terms of upside, it's kind of hard to project outside of like what we see. If he can somehow find a way to get quicker. I've not Googled how easy it is to get quicker at running. I've never tried. I'd assume it's just a lot of explosiveness drills, but I don't know. So, I mean, if it's possible to get quicker, that'd be great. If not, it is what it is. If he could end up being a really, really solid slot receiver. But I spoke earlier about his ball tracking. We haven't really seen a good example of it. This is the first one. Just over that shoulder, locates it well, turns upfield, gets the first down on 3rd and 11. And someone said they just wanted to move the chains on 3rd down. Here he goes. That's a great example. Up to the DB. And again, just look at how low that center of gravity is on that break. That's really impressive there to just bang again across the face, absorb a little bit of contact, stay up because he's physically tough. Don't get knocked off the route. Bring the pass in. Really good. A little bit of fire at him as well when blocking there. Love to see that. Liam, he had more explosiveness in 2022 when he fractured. Yeah, I did read about him fracturing his leg. I'm not sure if that's going to play an impact or not for his draft stock because the 2023 state wasn't that bad. Problem isn't how quick he is. He's quick, but doesn't have the afterburners. Exactly. Yeah, it's more that second and third gear. He's got one gear, which is very good for the first 5 yards of the route. But again, for what the Eagles need him for, I don't think that's a bad thing. Like they can do. I would much rather a player that can catch a ball than a player that's quick and can't. Like, don't give me the hopium of taking 30 yards off a defense when this is much like that route there was really good. You don't see it much here. Just watch. There we go, at the slot. So this is another example of it. You've got 3 defenders here and a line judge or a ref to kind of navigate. Does this little shimmy, breaks inside again, runs right around the back, and just the understanding of spacing. Like gets himself wide open there. Love it. Really good crossing route from him. Can't ask for much more. Also, fun fact, we can see he was also a proficient special teamer. He's also the first person off the top of my head in SEC history to record 800 punt return yards and 2,000 career receiving yards. So that's got to count for something. So bear in mind, the Eagles have been pretty lucky with Britton Covey. Like Covey's done a good job. He was one of the sweet spots of last year, and he should get himself a roster spot here relatively easily. But having some optionality and some change up between kick returns and punt returns and just a few different guys to sprinkle around, especially with these new kickoff rules, I don't know if I trust him on kick returns if he can't get that open space. Like he can make the open lane, he can't run through it. So I probably trust Britton Covey more on that. And you can kind of see, his track record, like literal track record, not his metaphorical one, carry over into that. In Madden, acceleration is equal to speed. Interesting. It's clearly proven that speed... we leave John Hightower out. Oh, John Ross. I won't take John Hightower slander on this stream. You will be evicted promptly. I think Smith might be our kick returner with the new rule. Yeah, he probably could be. I mean, we'll see how he does this one. It's probably a good idea to... Yeah, like stuff like that's really good. Just people bringing him down. He absorbs a lot of contact. He's got a lot of power. And that low center of gravity, he's not gangling around. Like he can really stick his weight down low and make it hard to deal with. It's very good. I'm impressed. Like I said, I fell in love with him on this draft stream, trying to, see if he'd be a fit for the Eagles. And I just don't think there were many people that fit that need better, which is why he graded out so high. Like I got an email the other day, actually. I'm going to read this one out. We'll let the stream run on. We've kind of made our assessments that we need to. I do want to get this email up because this isn't made up. I just don't want to dox my personal email on YouTube, preferably. But yeah, he somehow found my personal email, which I don't even use anymore. It's just used for spam. I'm not going to name his name, but it started with sent from my iPhone, so that's automatically a red flag. And he said the following. Okay, this was based off of my grading of WR Ainias Smith. Okay. How can you rate him higher than Malik Washington, who was projected as a 3rd-round pick and then was ignored? Washington will have a great opportunity to show what he can do in Miami, and my guess is he totally outshines Smith. And that was the end of the email. So someone's taken some real offense to the fact that I saw more upside in Ainias Smith than Malik Washington. And it's no disrespect to Malik Washington. As we said, we do these grades on stream to fit the Eagles. It's not who's going to be the better receiver. It's who is the best fit skill set wise for Philadelphia. So thank you for that lovely touching email. I don't really know what to respond to. At least it's better than do you ski, which was an email I received once. So, beggars can't be choosers here. Now, the new rule about is being able to read the holes and not at top end. That's a good point. But in that case, I still think there's some meat on the bone with Smith because as we've seen, sometimes in open space when he has the ball in his hands, he tries to be a bit too cute, do a bit too much, and that haunts him. Like we saw a couple things that could have been home runs end up being second base hits. That's going to be something that they need to work on in training camp. And yeah, exactly, Doug. So for what the Eagles needed, it just didn't make sense. It was no reflection on the receiver. It was just someone that has looked at that, seen no context whatsoever, found my personal email, and then gone all in on it. So is what it is. You get it quite a lot. But hey, at least I didn't get called a red coat this time, which is somewhat of an improvement. But yeah, again, more physicality there on the kick return. Okay, that's another one. Let's straight away. One play later. So this is 1st and 10 after the return, lining up in the slot. I hope we get another view just because we can't see it very well. But defenders around him. You're going to have a safety closing down there, I assume. So he tries to run outside the block. That's smart. Does he have the speed to get there? He gets grabbed around the waist, shakes it off, keeps getting nifty little movement. Did too much. Another one. He's just done too much. I hope we get another view, but without knowing what's in front of him, I'd have pushed the boundary, really. You're up 10-3, push the sideline. Great of him to. It took like a twisting suplex to get him down. You know, the physicality is that like he's a strong boy. He's a big boy for his size. Yeah, we do. Okay, so let's just grade this a little bit better. So when he's going horizontally, yeah, look at the open space. Look at the open space. Why are you trying to cut that? It's too cute. It's too much. It's too cute. And this has happened a few times now, like 3-4 times across 2 games, where there's just too much footwork. There's too much emphasis on And maybe it's because he doesn't trust that top end speed. He doesn't think he can accelerate past the player. Maybe it's that. But that's got to be coached out. And the good news is it can be, because it's all just mental and it's processing and it's understanding. And again, with guys like Smitty and AJ in the room, I'd like to think that can be a step he can absolutely take. We'll see if he does it again here. He's like a ball. He runs like Jordan Howard. Like, he's really hard to bring down. Great breaking across the D, but it's really weird. I feel like if he could actually finish plays, it'd be like a 3rd round pick. Genuinely. But if you look at this, look at the cornerback's leg. Look at Ainias's. We're up here, top left. Ready? Bang. See you later. Gone. Easy throw. And this is where he's got to turn and go, and he just doesn't have that speed. And the cornerback's able. Look at where the cornerback started in this. About a step and a half behind. Doesn't take him long to catch up. Doesn't take him long. He doesn't go down. In fact, doesn't go down. Fights for extra yards. So he's like this compact ball of it's like if Jordan Howard was a receiver, it's probably the best way I can word it. But he needs to be a little more decisive with his runs, because I think he sometimes just tries to do a bit too much. Whether it's out of hesitation, whether it's out of just wanting to have the big play and make the big move and break some ankles, I don't know. But I think it has to change. These are probably the best plays to look at for that. Oh dear. Let's not be doing that, please. He recovered it, but oh dear. That's not great, is it, Mr. Smith? What's just happened here? Sorry. What? Watch this. What's that? What's he doing? What's he doing? He's trying to get a flag for a foul from the ref. I've never seen a flop like that. That is stupendous. I'm glad they get the ball back, but my Miss American Pie, that was interesting. Let's have a look. Hey, what's up, Sean? Nice to see you, man. Glad you come back for the stream. Where we got in the car? He's a slot back, plain and simple. Kellen Moore will love him. Yeah, he's going to be great under Kellen Moore. He's got the dog in him to run block. He's definitely got that drive to do it. It also hurts by being shorter. His legs are much shorter. I mean, he can't cover as much ground. Very true. As a 6'3" man who strides around open space like a gazelle, I completely agree. He thinks he's playing. Literally, that is like prime Neymar. Can we just watch it one more time? Because that has made my night. That is it's absolutely brilliant. That's so good. Oh, draft him. He seems like a great hoot. What a man. Bring him in. I was hoping they'd show a replay of that, but instead we just get Smith trying again. Size of his legs, though. He is built. He is absolutely built. He's done. But in fairness, if we're going to find a positive, he held on to a ball that was very easily losable. Can't be overly mad at that. I mean, we can, but it could have been a lot worse. Kind of missed a blocking assignment there, I think, but that's okay. Where are we to here? Oh, that's the end. All right. Cool. So final thoughts, but we'll answer some quick questions and stuff on him. I mean, I don't think there's any more tape to watch on him. We'll put some highlights in the background while we're answering questions. There we go. You got a little bit of a back. Oh, I don't care about your adverts. I've never heard of any of these. Gosh. Anyway, so Cole Beasley is saying Beasley second. Yeah, that's the only complaint. The only complaint is that long speed just isn't there. The acceleration is, the play strength is, the IQ is mostly. I think that the main things for me to work on is just deciding when, like, if he does lack that long speed, unfortunately, it puts more and more emphasis on making the right decisions with the ball in your hands because you don't have the speed to make it. Something like that is a prime example. He's probably been doing that at South Carolina, against South Carolina for ages without being punished. But here, you've only got to go 10 yards. You've only got to go 10 yards, 12 yards straight. And yes, there's a player closing in on you, but you're strong enough to beat him. I know there's like a whole horde of them coming. It's an intelligent play. Well done. He misses the block. It's lovely. But that mentality, while it works there, is like playing blackjack. And it feels like he just like does that a lot. But that will be coached out. I think that will be coached out of him. It's just, I think he almost has to overcompensate for that lack of speed by zipping around horizontally to make people miss that way because he can't really beat them vertically down the field. Something like that, though, really good. Is he break it here? Stays outside. There you go. Much better. And that's Alabama. Was that Terry and Arnold? Should you have a little guess? That very good look. Probably Kool-Aid because he's shite, but much better. Do that, and he's going to be as productive can be. I've got no qualms with him whatsoever. But yeah, I think if we're going strengths, opening like 5 steps of a route are very good. Very good get off, makes eccentric breaks in and out of his cuts, is explosive out of his cuts. Like they're decisive when he makes them. Carries his momentum well, very fluid as an athlete, tracks the ball well, catches it nicely, fairly reliable to find the soft spot of a defense. The worries are that long speed isn't overly translatable, and if it hurts here, it's going to hurt in the NFL. And that because of that lack of long speed, he tries to do a little bit too much, overdoing it. He's overdoing it a little bit. And if you can just dial that bit back and can just learn to take your medicine, take what the field gives you. If you're going to go out of bounds at the 5, go out of bounds at the 5. Don't try and muscle back inside and then get clotted by someone else. Just take whatever the field give you. He's going to be great. I really like his upside. Really weirdly, there was a player I was going to compare him to, and it's just completely lost me. I feel like it might even be Jalix Hunt. Like when we broke him down, is that it's understanding that limitation of like, all right, well, I might not be the strongest guy in the world. He's got to stop dropping these. That's 2. Oof. Okay, a little cha-cha now, yo. Reverse, is it? I'll take it back. Drop it all you want. Channel that into Deshaun Jackson. Reverse. And then I like that. Look, he just won't go down. He will not go down. He's like a running back. He's like a thick Jordan Howard-esque running back. And it's too much of this. It's too much of just this cutting around bollocks. Look, you had a hole. You've got a block in front of you. Why are you cutting there? Like, well done, you've made him miss. You made ESPN's top 10 plays and you bounced off another guy. Great. But you've also gone sideways twice. Like, you can stay up there. Just run up. You'll be all right. It's great and it's not. It's great until it isn't, is the way I describe it. Like, it looks amazing and he makes some outstanding plays doing it. But there are going to be times at the NFL level when the players are a little bit more instinctive and they're not going to bite on his every move. He's just going absolutely nowhere. And it's the sort of thing where we all remember that Quez Watkins third down where he didn't turn up the field and get it. That's the kind of thing where that play would happen. And I'm not saying it would. I think he's better than that and he understands the game better than that. But yeah, I'm probably just nitpicking. I don't know. We'll see what you guys are saying. No way he starts over Campbell. Do you reckon? Think Paris has got it? You basically ran 20 yards to gain 2. Yeah, literally. It's very much that, like, everything he feels needs to go horizontal. That it's like a bounce here and a bounce there, and he's just cutting around. Like, if he can just be coached into putting his head down and moving forward and keeping his momentum moving forward, he's going to be productive. Like, I have full confidence in that. But if he starts dicking around and dilly-dallying and going, and trying to make people miss and look like the big man, it ain't going to work in the NFL. Like, you're getting away with it, I think. And we've seen over 2 games, and this is just highlights, but it's even present in the highlights. These are his highlights, and it's still happening. But we've just watched 2 games where there's 4 examples of him leaving meat on the bone because he's been a bit too cutty. It's all just going absolutely nowhere. So I hope that gets coached out, and I'd like to think the Eagles have seen that as a weakness and will be able to get the best out of him. I'm optimistic. This hasn't dented my confidence. I think, again, as a prototype of player that has a particular skill set, soft hands, great opening few yards of a route, can find the soft spot in the defense, he's going to be good enough to make people miss and to convert on those third downs and to move the chains and to be the check down option. He cannot be pushed into being this Quez Watkins over exaggerative, trying to do too much, like turning nothing into gold every single time. If you get a 6-yard gain, take a 6-yard gain. It doesn't need to be 60. You don't have to run horizontally back and forth for 10 minutes to get the touchdown. This isn't NCAA 14, all right? And if they can coach that bit into him, he's going to be all right. So I'm not expecting greatness out the gate, but I think within 3 years, preseason is going to be fun. I'm excited to see him in preseason. If they can really work with him, it's more vision than anything else, and it's like patience, and it's too much just overdoing stuff. So hopefully that will get ironed out. But overall, I'm excited. I think he's going to be a great young player for this team. I want to see what happens with him next, and we'll look forward to OTAs and beyond. But as Tom says, you don't go broke taking a profit, and I completely agree with that. And he cannot be YOLO and everything on blackjack every single time. It's had 1 670-yard season, nothing more than 200 besides that. Probably he's running sideways quite a lot. But I think that, there's meat on the bone, which is kind of, reminiscent of the rest of this tape. So we'll see. But, you're out Campbell, probably. But yeah, I'm a fan. We'll see where we go. And that brings us to the end of the stream, guys. So if you have liked this analysis and you've learned a little bit more about Ainias Smith, sorry, I thought I was going to say, I know he had over 2,000 yards. It clicked then. It's a bit late. You have to forgive me. I will say really quickly, I can't reveal too much what it is yet. Fuck it, I can. I might have already said it. I'm not sure. But basically, I got asked 2 weeks ago. So someone I used to work with works for a publishing company. If I'm repeating myself, I'm very sorry. Someone I used to work for works for a publishing company, and they're producing an NFL encyclopedia for kids in America. And they've asked me to write it. And so I'm spending a lot of my pockets of free time that I have doing that, which is why I'm not... I think I did mention this last time. It's why I'm not streaming on Twitch. So cool thing is, that'll be out soon, hopefully. I don't know dates and stuff, but I'm halfway through. And there'll be a little NFL encyclopedia, my little name on it. So I'm excited for that. But that's why there haven't been Twitch streams. So I'm apologizing for that, but I want to kind of get that finished, and then we can, jump. And also fucking neighbors doing me adding. But if you have liked this stream, guys, it would be amazing if you could just hit that thumbs up. Again, it helps so much. So, if you could just hit that thumbs up, be amazing. It's the best way to support what we do. I appreciate you all for hanging out. Hopefully you've learned some tape knowledge on Ainias Smith, and can go and talk the ears off all the other Eagles fans that you know about the new form ball knowledge that you've got. And, you'll be running away then. They'll be asking you for takes on everything. That's the way you want it. 22 likes. We got 22. That is stupendous. That has made my night, Win. That has made my night. I did only want 10, only because he had the number 0, and we can't physically get 0, so we had to beat that. 22 is outstanding. Thank you, guys. That's really kind of you. I'll keep you posted with the encyclopedia stuff. I'll try and get a few copies to give away. I don't know the ins and outs of it. I'm not on the Instagram level influencer yet, but if I can get a few copies to give away, then I definitely will. I mean, I know you're not kids, but hey, it's a free book, isn't it? I'll be back on Friday, and we'll do another draft pick. I'm thinking Will Shipley will go back into his, in the same way we found some more weaknesses with Ainias Smith. We might find some more in Shipley. So we'll have a look. I look forward to that. But until Friday, guys, thank you for hanging out. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Go Birds. I'll see you soon.